Alright everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot, and what you're going to be seeing in the background today is either going to be Raging Blast 2 and or Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z video footage. And holy crap, we got a bunch of stuff released today on Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So in case you guys don't know, it's currently July 12th, and as of today, a bunch of news dropped. And this is mainly research done by Saiyan Island on news that we already kind of knew. So first things first, let's look at this. We're looking at a possible of 6 playable characters at one given time, which Battle of Z just gave us 8, but it was a weird team system. And again, this is just a possibility, so don't get ahead of yourself. But we're looking at a possibility of 6 playable characters. We're looking at a possibility of 126 characters total, and I'll get into why that's iffy here in a minute. And at least 24 stages. Now the 24 stages is pretty much guaranteed. We're going to get 24 different stages, so that's pretty cool, because 24 stages actually sounds like a pretty high number of stages, if you ask me. I don't have on hand or off the top of my head know how much Raging Blast 2 had, or Budokai Tenkaichi 3 or Battle of Z had, but 24 sounds like a pretty, I'm definitely okay with 24 stages. Anyways, let's take a look at this Saiyan Island article, and again, if you want to read all this for yourself, the link to this will be down in the description, but I recommend you don't go until the end of this video because I have some insight that Saiyan Island doesn't bring. But anyways, let me go ahead and summarize this article for you. The 2014 Japan Expo took place last week. That's where we got all that gameplay. I didn't make videos about the gameplay because it didn't really show us anything new. However, I did tweet it out, so follow me on Twitter for when I tweet out little stories like that. They don't really matter. They're not worth a video, but they are worth tweeting out, so I did that. But anyways, my Twitter link should be down below. Anyways, it showed Goku fighting Vegeta and Cell, and it showed Player 1 and Player 2 battling. It showed in-game transformations, but the main thing we want to look at right now is just before the battle started, like many games, the characters and stages were selected. Now, I didn't look into this because there was a character menu, but there were also left and right options, like you could scroll left and right on a player select screen. That's the reason I didn't look into it, because I didn't know how far left and right you could scroll, but knowing what I knew that it could be unlimited. However, Saiyan Island did a really cool thing where they used the magical power of Photoshop, and they took how big. There's a number 1. There's an image on there. I'll probably phase some of these images in while I'm making the video, just to make it easier for you guys to see, so you guys don't have to have the article pulled up to know what I'm talking about. But Saiyan Island went ahead and they did some Photoshop, and then they basically copied and pasted the 1 across, and they figured out you can fit at least 6 slots here. So if you look at the idea that there are 21 slots on a page, like there was 21 slots on their original page, and then you add the fact that you can scroll left and right up to 6 times, that means that there's a possibility of a maximum of 126 characters. And the reason that's a maximum is because the last page may not be completely filled. They might have just needed another page and then not filled it all the way. So that's something else you gotta keep in mind. Yeah, look at that, 126 characters. Now, one thing Saiyan Island does not touch up on, and this could be fixed in the future. This game is still in a very early stage. The menu may look completely different by the time the game comes out. We just don't know for sure. But one thing I want to point out is we might be getting Battle of Z here. On another article, which I will link you to, it's the one that they're talking about where Vegeta and Goku fight, but it's not the one they link you to. It's kind of complicated, but the link to this will be down in the description, where they actually select their characters. One thing I noticed is when this guy picks Goku, now this is the part where it gets weird, this is the part where it gets iffy. There are in-game transformations, so when you pick Goku, he does go Super Saiyan 1, and I'm pretty sure you can go Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, possibly God, I don't know yet, all by picking Goku. So in that regard, it's like Raging Blast 2, and if you remember in Raging Blast 2, again, I can pick base Goku, and then I can transform to any form I want. However, it was like Battle of Z in that when he did select Goku, he just selected Goku. He didn't get the option after that to select Super Saiyan 1, 2, or 3. If you remember right, I probably showed it off in the beginning of this video, but when I pick a character, when I picked Goku, and then it gave me the option to pick 1, 2, and 3, and that's because that Goku is all one character. It all gets counted as one character. I know I'm being complicated here, but stick with me. Now on Battle of Z, when you picked Goku, and then they had a different slot for Super Saiyan 1, a different slot for Super Saiyan 2, a different slot for Super Saiyan 3. They were all different characters, and I'm thinking because he picked Goku, but the option to pick Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, or God didn't show up, I'm almost willing to bet that we're going to get Battle of Z here, and that when they say there's up to 126 playable characters, what they mean is that there are 5 Gokus, there are 5 Friezas, there are 4 Cells, you know what I mean? I think everyone's going to be a different character as far as this selected character mode goes. Now, even if we do get Battle of Z, even if we really don't get the full 126 characters, Battle of Z only had 70 characters, and to say Battle of Z had 70 characters was a stretch in itself because you had to include you had to include DLC characters. So the fact that we're still getting almost double the characters that we got from Battle of Z in a worst case scenario is still good. I think that still passes, but that's the one thing I'm very concerned about, is because if you look in this video, when he selects Goku, there's not an option to select what Super Saiyan, which makes me think that the Super Saiyans are going to be put in different spots, that different transformations are going to be put in different spots. But I've been too hung up on that. So let's keep looking into this. Aside from this, we look at the fact that there is a possibility of 6 playable characters. As you'll notice, there's 6 slots when they go to select their characters. Again, the image, I'll probably phase it up there again. But there's one thing that caught my eye, and that's the fact, and it's another thing Saiyan Island in the article doesn't talk about. That's why you're here watching my video. But there is a gap between the top and the bottom. It looks like there's a top 3. It looks like there's a top 3 character selection menu thing, and then there's bottom 3 character selection menus, which makes me getting tongue-tied today. It makes me think either one, it's gonna be a Battle of Z-esque style, and I don't think it focuses on this. I think it just might be a side feature. So you know how in Battle of Z, the main focus was 4v4 fights or 4v1 fights or all that stuff. I don't think that's gonna be it. I think their main focus in this game is still gonna be 1v1. However, I think the possibility of tag team or even 3v3 fighting is real. I think that's actually something that could happen. But anyways, because they're split, that tells me that 2 teams could happen. It doesn't say free-for-all to me. That's not, no, I'm not ruling free-for-all out, but it doesn't say free-for-all. It says 2 teams, and whether it's like Raging Blast 2, where you pick 3 characters for one team, and then you can pick 3 characters for another team, and then they tag out, so they have a series of 1v1 fights and then tag out, or it's like Battle of Z, where everyone's on the field at the same time, and they're all fighting and kicking, we don't know. I'm willing to bet it's like Battle of Z because there is footage of 2v2 fights out. As you'll see in the article, such as the mystery character fighting Nappa while Goku fights Vegeta. So that makes me think team fights are on the table, but that's what we know about the current 6 player slots. Another thing I want to point out, Saiyan Island gets this wrong, so when you're reading the article, I want you guys to know this. They say that PS3, PS4, and Xbox One can only support 4 controllers. I'm not going to lie, I own a PS4, but I don't know. It says locally. It can only hold 4 controllers. And this is important because we can have up to 6 characters, so how could you play offline locally, you know what I mean? But we're hoping we get an offline option. Anyways, they state that PS3, Xbox 360, and PS4 can only support 4 controllers. Now, I don't know about PS4 or Xbox One or Xbox 360, but I do know that on PS3, you can have more than 4 controllers connected at one time. I know this because I used to have a WWE game where you could have up to 6 or 8 people at one time, and we could always do that. So it is possible, so ignore what they say there because they did get that one wrong. And games like this never come out that support 6 players offline locally, so I can understand why they got this one wrong, but I know for sure for a fact that PS3 does support over 4 controllers locally if needed. Anyways, then they go on to talk about more screenshots. They say the stages, again, we get 24 stages in total. They show that 3 of them are unlocked and 21 are locked. So you'll be unlocking stages as you go is my guess. But we know for sure there's the original like Rocky Land that Goku and Vegeta have their very first fight on. There's the Cell Games Arena. And then that third picture, correct me if I'm wrong if there's footage of this somewhere else, but it looks like ruined Planet Namek from what I see. I see lava and explosions. And I might be wrong on this. The image is kind of fuzzy. But let me know if you think otherwise. But it looks like ruined Planet Namek is the third image. And then lastly, they had an interview that was conducted by a French website, Yasuke, with Hiro-san, is who the interview was done with. And it was originally done in French, but they did a rough translation. So I'm going to summarize some of these questions and answers for you. So question 1, what's the difference between this game and other Dragon Ball fights? And the answer to that is the gameplay. They took some specific aspects from previous works and, of course, made some improvements, but the real difference comes from the ability to interact with the world of Dragon Ball in story mode. So we've seen this gameplay footage and we've seen all this cool stuff, and the weird part is that's not even the best part. The best part, what they're saying, is going to be a super, super kick-ass story mode, so I'm really looking forward to this one. For that reason, if the gameplay fighting itself is that good that it can hold up, and then the story mode's going to be amazing, that's actually pretty cool. Anyways, moving on to question number 2. What are the differences between PS3, Xbox 360, and PS4, Xbox One? And basically what he says is, for the most part, nothing. These games are going to be almost identical. Obviously, the PS4 is going to have a little bit better visuals than the Xbox One, and the Xbox One's going to have a little bit better visuals than the PS3 and Xbox 360. So that's something you got to keep in mind, but that's bound to happen with almost any game. So yeah, the visuals are going to be a little bit different, and then of course the share button, which comes in on the new consoles. The Xbox One and PS4 have a share feature, which you can just click to share. But that's going to be the case with any game. So really, these games are going to be next to identical. The only difference is graphics. Like I said, we can expect the Xbox One to be have better graphics than the PS3 and Xbox 360, and of course the PS4 to have slightly better graphics than the Xbox One due to the true 1080p. Anyways, number 3, does the story of the game spread out to the GT part of Dragon Ball? And he answers this by saying the storyline is based on the Dragon Ball Z series. I can't disclose too much at this time, but it is possible there could be characters from other parts in the series. Now, when I hear this, I think it's possible we get characters from the original Dragon Ball or from Dragon Ball Z movies, due to the fact that they're pushing Battle of the Gods and Super Saiyan Gods really hard. Super Saiyan God, excuse me, really hard right now. I don't think they're going to do GT because Super Saiyan God and Battle of the Gods itself collides with GT, or at least it will in the very near future, and kind of erases it from history. So as much as I would love to see GT characters such as Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega Shenron, all that stuff, I do not personally believe we'll get GT. However, he did leave the door open. It's not impossible it happens, but I don't think it's likely. I think it's more likely we get characters from the original Dragon Ball and or movie characters from Dragon Ball Z. Anyways, question number 4. I think the mysterious character from the future looks suspiciously like adult Gohan. Is it him? The answer, it has laughter in parentheses. Then it says, I can't say more, but you may or may not be wrong. And I'm going to guess he's wrong. I'm still guessing it's character creation. However, if you remember on my very first video talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I did suspect that the red-haired character might be Gohan. So it's cool that this guy and I kind of think alike because he does have Gohan hair. However, I no longer personally think this. I think it's character creation. Anyways, number 5. You mentioned being able to change the events in the story of Dragon Ball Z. To what extent can we change history? Vegeta, will he, for example, emerge victorious in combat for the first time against Goku? The answer again begins with laughter, and then he goes on to say, I can unfortunately not say too much yet, but you can imagine what opportunities players will have with this mysterious character from the future who did not come all this way for nothing. Anyways, we will provide further information on this aspect of the game very soon, so I've got to keep my eyes peeled to go ahead and get this news to you guys out as soon as it happens, because they're anticipating to reveal a lot on the story mode very soon, and that's why you want to subscribe to my channel, Thundershot69. Click the button down below where I can keep you guys updated on stuff like this, because I do report on Battle of Z Xenoverse news as it comes out. Anyways, question number 6 and the final question, the ability to change the events in the game. Will there be several different purposes of this? And I think this is a rough translation. Again, this was an interview conducted in French, but I think what he means is, could we change anything? You know what I mean? Could we make Cell win the Cell games? Could we make Yamcha win the Cell games? I don't know. Could we have the mystery character beat both Super Saiyan Gohan or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Cell in the Cell games and change history forever? Can we kill certain characters off and see how the story plays out for the rest of time at any given time? Is what I think that question means. And I think that's a really, really cool possibility, and it would be amazing if that was the case. But the answer, or how he answers this question, he says, maybe, and then more laughter. So that's going to wrap it up for this. I know it was kind of a longer video, but there was a whole lot to get out. We have a bunch of character news being dropped. We have how many stages we have, the possibility of 3v3 team fights being implemented. And I know some of you might think 3v3 team fights is a step backwards from Battle of Z, but Battle of Z wasn't very good, so it wouldn't bother me at all if we went back to 3v3. That wouldn't change my mind on anything. But yeah, we could have a total of 126 characters. Best case scenario, they're all different slots. Goku is one slot, no matter what form of Goku it is. I mean, you know, Vegeta's one slot, no matter what form of Vegeta it is. Frieza doesn't take up 5 slots. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we get Battle of Z, and it's 126 different slots, but not really 126 different characters. But we have to see how it plays out. Anyways, if you're new around here, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I report on Battle of Z, Xenoverse news as it comes out. So be sure to subscribe to me for that. I want to thank all you guys for coming out today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I'm Thundershot, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.